Gosh, this episode was excellent. This is Greenleaf Season 3, Episode 11. The end is near. The end is near. The end is nigh. The end is now. Oh, Lord. Now, it starts off with... It starts off with... Oh my gosh. Maxine is telling Lady May, you need to go and tell Grace. You need to go and tell Grace the truth. And Lady May doesn't know for sure if Grace is Lionel's daughter or not. All she knows is that she cheated on Bishop, or I should say had sex with Lionel around the time that Grace was conceived. So it's a high possibility. A very, very high possibility. And she just feels like it's too much. Like, she really doesn't want to go and put it out there. But Maxine says, you need to be better. You need to go and put out the truth, and it will set you free. That was actually her main message the entire episode. Grace is trying to convince her, the father that raised her. I guess right now that's how we're going to say it until we get that confirmation. But the only daddy she's ever known, that, hey, this is Rochelle James. That's her sister. Here's a picture to prove it. And Bishop is just in denial. He's in such denial because he feels like they've had such a strong connection. He just can't see it. He just can't see it. And it's like, okay, even if that's the truth, why would she go and do this and do that to me? Before we can do any more thinking, boom, the FBI comes through. So the FBI, they come into Triumph. They're seizing everything. Carissa's asking what's going on. Well, fraud, money laundering. And that's what they're getting hit up for. And you can't take any of your stuff. They have to go and look at everything. So then the accountant for Triumph, he's like, oh my God, I'm so thankful you're here. There's some really shady stuff going on here. I said, shut up. Be quiet. Shut up. I know you're doing your job, you little snitch, but I just didn't like how he was just like, oh my God, here's what you do. Well, I guess that's how good accountants are. Lady May and Maxine, they're having this interview for the She Changes Everything conference. And they're talking about all the important speakers they'll have there. One speaker that isn't confirmed is Grace. And because of what Grace is doing with the criminal reform and all of that, everyone's interested in her. Everyone's interested in seeing, will Grace be there? What will she do? Lady May keeps trying to downplay it and say that, look, we just need to focus on what's important. We just need to focus on the people who will be there, and you won't be disappointed. Your life will be changed by it. That's when the FBI comes during even her interview, and now Lady May's talking to Charity. Charity's just honestly asking Mama, what's going on with it? And Lady May goes and says, for once, can you just go and not make everything about you and be the strong one? I said, oh. And now everyone's flustered, trying to figure out what's going on. We see this detective who, he plays the black boyfriend on Dynasty, and he also played Yelena's boyfriend / fiance on Hit the Floor in earlier seasons. I'll just call him Detective. So we're dealing with him right now. And then Lady May goes and curses out Bishop in front of everyone. Like, this is all your fault. You said that you were going to handle it. You said you had this under control. This is because of the tax stuff. I said, say it louder for people in the cheap seats. Okay? So Grace calls. Who does Grace call? Grace ends up calling the lawyer that's Rochelle's lawyer that's supposed to be defending their client. And she does that because they don't have any other choice. Now the lawyer is talking to, the full Greenleaf family. Actually, Lady May and Charity weren't there, but everyone else was there. And Jacob saying that, okay, that 200,000, someone, Tasha, at my church tricked me and had me sign off on that, or, set that whole thing up. And for for Bishop's side, Rochelle had him put his money in a cryptocurrency, church account. It's like, sir, nothing like that exists. And he opens his app and realizes, oh, there's nothing there. I mean, the app doesn't even work anymore. And like I told you guys a couple episodes ago, as soon as she came up with the idea, I knew that she was going to use Jacob's funds to fund that app for Bishop for that type of a return, and so that it would be fraud, and she was going to do it for free so that there was no paper trail. Oh, come on now. See, the business mind in me kicked right in. I said, I know a scam when I see it, especially a good one. But none of that matters right now as far as Maxine's concerned. Maxine feels like, why don't we use this as an opportunity? Why don't we use this as you cleaning up Bishop's mess? She changes everything will still go on without a hitch. They don't have any of their material. It was in the laptops. It wasn't saved in the cloud, so they can't access it. She said, it doesn't matter. We can go and figure it out. But this could be your leeway in. Charity goes and says that she needs to talk to the detective, and she uses her damsel in distress, and he obliges and says, let's see how this goes. Darius comes along, and Darius just tells Grace, hey, can I talk to you for a moment? That's when Darius tells Grace, look, so, I told you that your father was potentially, right? Yeah. Well, why don't you go and just tell me your side of the story? Because the story's going to be run. It's better if you jump ahead of this. And of course, Grace instantly feels like, so you're using me and taking advantage of me in a situation where my family is potentially being taken down, and you want a news article. Because that's his job. That's why it was never going to work. Even if he didn't go and plot this with Rochelle, for example, he's still someone who has to do work that is in direct conflict with Grace and her family. That's why I always felt like, I don't know how this is going to work. So Grace says, look, I'm going to figure it out. Honestly, I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not. I know that it's Rochelle. I just can't prove it yet. But did you guys notice how when Grace left and that door, it had the cross on it, but of course, the center was empty, and we could see Darius's face looking back at Grace through that? I just notice the details sometimes. Charity is trying to tell this detective that she took some photos. I said, oh Lord, not sex pics. No. She took some suggestive photos, I guess, when she was trying to pursue acting or something. And the story from the jump sounds very shaky. But this is her story. She took photos when she was trying to do some type of acting thing. And the photos are very suggestive and she needs them back. She wants them back. They can't be released because she'd be super embarrassed, and she needs this guy's help. Is he going to help her or not? And he says, he needs to talk to his boss. So I said, Now Jacob is talking to Tasha. Tasha picked up this time, and Jacob was like, Tasha, I need your help. Tasha, I just need to know why'd you do it? I'm thinking, is Jacob working with the feds already? Because that sounds like he's trying to get her to admit something for them. But they weren't in the office at that time. He was just trying to see if he could get anything out of her. So nothing was happening. Carissa, Tasha's just saying that she was so sorry. And that's when Carissa said, tell her you love her. Tell her you love her. Tell her you love her. And as soon as he said, I love you, Basie was sitting right next to her, giving her that look of, I'm going to choke you out. I said, oh my God, Tasha, you are not safe. You are not safe. As soon as Basie heard that, he snatched her phone and ended that call through the phone. And it's like, I knew it. I knew you're trifling. And I said, Basie, calm down. I was like, Basie, calm down. Don't do anything to her. because Rochelle was there as well. Oh, Isaiah wants to go to the studio, but this time he does not.
Remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe and come back.
Not want Zora to come along, which to me meant that, who's he going to have the studio? And he was like, oh, just the usual people. I said, oh, you're lying. The devil's a liar. And he even gives her some money. But then there was this one moment where he was like, give me a bottle, get me a bottle out of the cupboard now. I said, what type of mess is this? And Zora's still going along with it. She doesn't look happy, but she's still going along with it. Now Grace pops up at Rochelle's place of business and tells Rochelle, so it was you, wasn't it? I know who your father is. And Rochelle's like, yes, that is my father. Yes, Basie is my half-brother. But what is the problem? I'm trying to do the right thing here. You're trying to villainize me, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you. What's your deal? What's your issue? And I just loved... when I tell you that, I just loved how Grace was over... when I tell you over Rochelle, but Rochelle acted her butt off this episode. She acted her butt off this episode because she was saying, she was trying to flip it. It's like, all the stuff that I did for you, your father, for that church, and you're trying to go and say that I went and, I'm funding this. I'm putting this on the line, and you still don't trust me? Maybe you need to go and look deep inside yourself and see what the real issue is instead of just blaming other people. And I said, if I didn't know any better, I would have believed her. Because we know Grace is high strong, but that's not what's going on here. Rochelle is a liar, deceiver. Now Connie is talking to Bishop, and Connie is saying, Bishop, you're out. After all these transgressions, you are out. We're going to bring in a third party to start the search for someone new. Because originally, she was trying to get Grace to do it, but Grace kept saying no. So now she's going to look elsewhere. Bishop said, trust me. That's not happening. Basie, with that look of he wants to go and knock Tasha out, and I was so nervous for her. I was so nervous for her because he didn't blink once. I was looking at him. He didn't blink once. She was staring at her the entire time. And she was making him breakfast. She was giving him a napkin. And he was just pushing everything away. He was like, you need to stop. So I go and leave. I had to deal with the financial hold that got us in, and that's what I did as a man. But you went as soon as I left for a couple of months and went up under another man, and she said, I didn't do anything. And even if I did, I said, don't say that, because that leaves the door open for, you did do something. So don't do that. Do not do that. That is a warning for all of you. If you're going to lie, you need to go and make sure that lie is consistent and you think it through and through. Basie did not believe her because he heard what Jacob said. How can he trust his wife that became a harlot because he was gone for a couple of months? So then he calls Rochelle and said, okay, it's game time. And I'm thinking, Tasha, Basie, you did leave your wife. She really... the part that confuses me is they had this plan to go after the Greenleafs. So what? I understand. My whole thing is, it's both of their fault. It's not just Tasha's. It's both of their faults, but yeah, it's both of their faults. It's both. Grace, the assistant outside of Grace's office said, will everything be okay? I'll believe it if it's you. Honestly, I don't know. I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to lie to you. Basie's talking to Rochelle, and he was like, look, we need to go and handle this Jacob situation. We need to go and do it now. And Tasha, of course, is very concerned. Carissa and Jacob, they're just looking at everything. They realize that they're done. Carissa said, thank God I didn't quit my job. I said, yeah, you see how things work out? You see how it all works out? In the end, Tasha calls Jacob and tells Jacob, hey, I need to meet with you. And apparently she was doing it behind Basie's back. I'm thinking, really? You really think that's going to work? Really? Really? What do you call it? Lady May gets a call from Aaron, and Aaron says that, I'm sorry. Lionel tried calling earlier. What ended up happening is Lionel died. Lionel died. He started some new chemo medication. It was too strong, and it killed him. And so, of course, Lady May, it was a weird look. It almost looked like a look of fright and contempt all at the same time. So she told Aaron, we'll talk later. I'm so sorry. Aaron had that look of determination, though, which concerned the heck out of me. Next thing we know, we see Grace. And Lady May was very short with Grace earlier in this episode. And she says, oh, I'm sorry for this morning. Because so much is going on, I took it out on you and I apologize. Grace had that look of, this woman never apologizes. And out of everything, she's going to apologize for this? Grace said, there's a lot going on, Mama. I understand. There's no problem. Even though I had that look of, now, Lady May, let's not do that. You're on that bull. Let's not do that. Come on now. So Grace leaves, and she doesn't tell Grace about the whole Lionel potentially being her daddy thing. And Grace is now talking to Bishop, and tells Bishop, so you're sleeping with Rochelle? Because that's what she told me, that you guys slept together last night. She said, I didn't do anything of the sort. Why would you go? Well, Daddy, that's what I'm trying to say. You can't trust this woman. So now he's going to confront her. He's going to handle this once and for all. Then we hear Miss Patty. Oh, you changed my world. Oh, changed my world. Oh, you changed everything. Ooh, the struggle. But Lady May is relieved because she said, guess what? Lionel's dead. So I don't need to tell Grace. Maxine looked at her like, you need to tell her because, first of all, you're not a man. You are better than that. You know, she's like, women, we don't hold this stuff in. We go and release, let loose, let God. We have to be the example, not the follower. You will regret this. It will haunt you day in and day out if you don't do this. You need to tell your daughter that her father that she's known in her life may not be her father biologically. You need to do it, and you need to do it soon. And so now Lady May has that look of, oh, God. Oh, so close. So close. I was so close. Little Sophia, well, I can't call it that anymore. Sophia's still on bed rest, and she's on social media, and she's stalking Isaiah's page, or a girl connected to Isaiah's page, and realizes, wait a minute, who's that girl sitting on Isaiah's lap? She's brown skinned, but she is not my cousin. So she goes and sends it to Zora, and I said, oh my God. I was like, oh no, please let them not have a fight and something happen to Zora. Please let that not be the case. But it goes differently, thankfully. Now, Charity, the detective asked Charity, I checked into things, and let me guess. Here's the laptop, but it's not really for pictures, is it? No, it's for my mom. And he said, oh, I need to go and look at everything. She said, okay. I said, look at Charity. Look at that. Because remember, Lady May was freaking out that she wouldn't have her material. Now, as soon as Isaiah comes in, he gets berated by by Zora about, oh, so this is what you're doing? But this is Isaiah. So he says, it was a fan. They brought in a fan, and yeah, she was doing too much, but I didn't do anything with her, and I didn't do anything to her. Baby, I love you. I love you. Don't worry about it. And then he starts kissing her. I said, oh, Zora, but thank God that he was happy. And it wasn't another situation, because that could have ended really badly. Charity comes in like, ha, hey, Mama, here's your stuff. You're welcome. Lady May having that look up. You did something right. Thank you. She got back all of her files. She was so appreciative that she was speechless. Now here comes Aaron. He comes to Grace's office, tells Grace that his father died. Well, that Lionel died, and he needs to tell her something because he knows Lady Mae wasn't going to do it. Now, Zora, she's up at night contemplating, what am I going to do? Because she realizes, looking closely at the picture, realizing, oh, Isaiah was really booed up with this girl. Come on. So now Jacob, thinking that he's going to meet up with Tasha, Basie comes along. And their interaction was weird. I'm thinking, Jacob, shouldn't you be upset? Shouldn't you be cursing out Basie for trying to go after your family? It was weird. I don't know if maybe it was the guilt of what he did with Tasha that caused him to not react a certain way, but it was better he didn't. It was out in the open anyway, so he couldn't do too much. Basie said, look, I just need to know, did you mess with my wife? And he said, it was just a kiss. And Basie was pissed. But Jacob at least told him the truth, which is more than what his wife did. Because he was like, you need to think about this. What happens to her depends on what you say right now, and let it be the truth. Because it's going to be a problem if it's not. I said, oh, now let's not go and hit her or something. Let's not do that. So that's where the conversation pretty much ended. He said, you're not going to have any communication with her because I have her cell phone. And that's that. They didn't even talk about what you're doing to my face. It was weird. It was weird. Now, Bishop, doing his part, he goes and ambushes Rochelle and tells Rochelle, oh, so you told Grace that we slept together and also my app doesn't work anymore and when you played me. Rochelle said, I never helped you with your money problems. What are you talking about? There's no trace of that. And we did sleep together, but you were drinking. You don't remember that? Wow. I'm thinking, oh, she is awful. She is awful. She is really trying to convince us and convince him that he did something that he knows he didn't do. And he just has this look of confusion. But that's because she's playing him. She was like, yes, that is my father. Yes, the fire that was started at your church did kill him. But I wouldn't even look at you twice if I held you responsible for that. So he is so confused because she's throwing everything back in his face. So he said, you know what? This isn't over. And she said, I don't know what you're talking about. As soon as he leaves, she said, haha, it is. Because there's nothing you can do about it. I said, ooh. Now, the episode ends with Grace reaching back out to Lady Mae. And Lady Mae's just like, it's a shame what happened to Lionel. But at the end of the day, we move on. Grace said, Aaron came and talked to me. So it's Lionel my daddy. Lady Mae said, honey, I don't know. I just don't know. I said, what type of answer is that? So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back